So this is a tank that I set up like 7 months ago. It's gone a bit nuts. It was a bit of an experiment, to be honest. It's the first time using aquatic pond soil, not like aqua soil. It's like pond soil specifically for ponds. That's why it's called pond soil. But yeah, I wasn't sure how well it was going to work, if the plants were going to grow good, if they're going to give good colours, that kind of thing. Well, the results definitely speak for themselves, don't they? That being said, I've just been told that there's some new rice fish arrived at my local Maidenhead Aquatic Centre, and I've got a couple of ideas for something I want to do. I'm going to go over there, get them, and have a chat with Matt. So it's actually Matt's idea to do this kind of design for the tank, because he knew I wanted the rice fish, didn't you, Matt?
Yep, yep.
And then I messaged him yesterday, I said, what's like the most naturalistic sort of look? And he sent me some photos and stuff. Said that we've got some pond plants in as well that could work with it. So that's what we're going to go with. But we've got the rice fish, yeah?
Yes.
I mean, I'm saying, asking him, I just checked, they have got them.
Yeah, so we've got these little guys. I won't try and say the name.
I think, have I had these before?
I don't
so
know.
they've got blue eyes and they're yellow. They'll get way bigger than that, obviously.
Yeah, they're still juveniles at the moment, so they'll get that really nice, like, yeah, orangey gold sort of coloration to them.
Yeah.
So yeah, really smart when they grow up.
That's awesome. And I mean, I love the blues, the blue eyes. It's not picking it up so much at the moment because I haven't got my zoom lens. Look, this is as much as I can zoom in. And then it's super bright and it won't focus. And yeah, there we go.
Yeah, they're proper piercing, proper blue eyes.
Do you know what else is quite nice? Is that there's a betta in there and it's absolutely fine with them. So
Yep.
some bettas are okay.
Yeah, every single betta that we get in, we sort of test the waters to see if they're all right with
Test
them.
the waters.
Yeah, nice. Every now and again you get one that's a problem and you just have to separate them out. But
Oh, I see. Okay. Is that pretty? Does that become obvious like quite quickly?
yeah, really quickly. You'll just see them starting to flare the gills, starting to chase things around, starting to really be sort of a bit aggressive. So, but yeah, most of the time I'd say it's only 1 in 20 that's bad.
Okay. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, if not less, to be honest.
I've had quite good success, to be honest, with bettas with other fish because I always get asked it in the questions. So it's very much betta dependent, but you could be unlucky.
Exactly. It's an individual fish. Each one has got such personality, and you know, can be a pain or can be a pleasure. You just got to guess which one, and you got to see it in the shop as well. If the shop's got them living with other fish, and you can see they're not paying attention to them and they're not being aggressive, then it's fine.
I don't know how we've got onto betta fish because we're not here for
He's
that.
really pretty though.
It's
isn't
just
he?
it's just a really good colour.
But yeah, rice fish.
Yeah, so we want the rice fish. So I want to do a little nano setup to do that, sort of replicating that. But is it a rice paddy field, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, they are found now throughout quite a few different countries. But yeah, they do live in a lot of rice paddies. So it should be quite sort of natural for them to be in that sort of environment, really.
Okay, hopefully we get to see some cool sort of behaviour. It'll be simple to do as well. It'll be a good escape for others to see and do. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, really simple scape.
Okay, what about pond plants then, Matt? Let's go and have a look out there.
Let's have a look what we got.
We have got a massive selection, to be fair, Matt, haven't we?
Yeah, there's loads here.
Woo. See, I normally walk straight past the pond plants.
Nothing interesting. No, there is. There's some really cool ones. I'm just looking.
So many.
I reckon.
Wait, don't talk. I'm not near you.
Okay. Sorry.
Talk again.
Now, see, cypress is a really nice one. This one here. So really grassy, and it comes up eventually with these big umbrella-like spider sort of looking heads to them. So really smart. I think that one would be really nice because it gives that grassy feel. It's got that sort of fieldy look. I think that's going to be the best one, and they'll get a good, well, hang on, what species is that? Yeah, 80 centimetres. So you're going to be getting just under 3 foot tall.
That'd be a proper pond-style tank then, wouldn't it?
Exactly, yeah. Real nice bushy plants coming out the back of it. And then they'll be sort of darting in amongst it. I think that'll be really cool.
Okay, we're definitely going to want to do that. I'm not going to need probably 2 of those pots, I reckon, won't I?
Yeah, I think so. Because each pot's got 3 plants in, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Oh, sweet. Okay, let's go with that. That's going to look wicked. Other than that plant in there, then, I'm going to keep it quite sort of minimal.
Yep.
Maybe some leaf litter.
Yeah.
Do you reckon we should go with sand or aqua soil on the base? Because, I mean...
Looking at the environment they're from, it is quite soily. It looks quite sort of dirty, I suppose you would say. It does look very soily, but both substrates are going to work. You're not going to necessarily need the nutrients for these guys because they're not majorly nutrient dependent. So
and they'll be out of the water as well. So
yeah.
I'm thinking then, if I do a darker sand and then I can crumple all my botanicals and stuff, that'll go in amongst it and make it sort of a dirty sand.
Yeah, nice.
I think that'll look wicked.
Look really cool, really natural.
Yeah.
Like that.
Awesome. And maybe a little bit of botanicals in there. I add a little bit of black water, which does make those rice fish like pop a bit more, doesn't it?
Yeah, that
Especially
yellow
eyes.
really pops. In that darker water, in that orangey water, they really pop in that. So that'll look really smart.
Right, let's do it. Let's do it. We are back from the fish shop and the fish are already sorted. Yeah, I've got them down here, look, in this little aquarium. There they are. Look, this filter's been running for quite a while. It's like established substrate. Got a little bit of Java moss in with them. They'll be okay in there for a long while. And there's still a Cory actually that I forgot to put into this tank with these guys, but I'll move them across as well when we catch all of the nice little rice fish in there. But before we do anything, this whole lot needs to come out. The fish that are in there, we've got 2 rams, got a golden ram and a normal ram, and we've got a few ember tetras. I'm gonna move those across over to here, and this was the Cory only tank, but it's got other fish in there that are doing really well, so they'll be absolutely fine all in together. Right, there we have it, an empty tank. So this tank is 2 foot long, 1 foot back, 1 foot high, roughly, something like that anyway. It's about 90 litres. Anyway, I'll put all the stuff up in the corner here so you know dimensions and that. But it's also got this light that I use always. This is like my most common light that I use. I'm gonna switch it up this time and try a different one, a homemade one. So over on the Amazon tank here, you can see I've got a 30 watt floodlight of just like an L-shaped bracket that I made out of wood. I want to do that for this one as well. Well, I've already done it, to be honest. I haven't painted it yet, though. Yeah, here it is, look. So, 30 watt LED floodlight there, just screwed onto the end, straight piece, and then a straight piece down with 2 screws going right into that so it's fully secure. It comes down to the length we want. And at the end here, I've just done that, which is just a bolt in the middle of a washer, and that's the exact gap for the glass. So it'll sit on there, clamp it on. It shouldn't go anywhere. I mean, I need to paint it though, it needs to be black. Right, the paint's almost dry. It's time to swap these lights around. So the light's not completely dry, but I can't wait any longer. Did I need enough space? Yeah, there we go. We're on. Just got to put the wire around the back. And I made sure to put lots of wire on there because there's nothing worse than lights that don't have enough cable, is there? Right, how's it gonna look? Here we go. Oosh. What's that look like? Oh, brilliant. Yes, that's a good amount of light. Yeah, liking that. We've got good height above the tank, but it's pumping out a good amount of light as well. It's hard to tell at the moment because we've just got a black bottom, obviously. Well, we can start getting a hardscape in. Now, to do this tank, I'm doing it in a sort of traditional style of a rice paddy field, which is where these fish originate from. So what I want to do is have like a mix between that dirty murkiness, but also an aquascape sort of feel to it as well. So I want to make it so there's like those planted up crops, is that the right word? I don't know, in the back area, and then as we come forward, some smaller pieces as well, but not completely covering it because then you won't see anything at all. I want to make sure that it's got a natural sort of feel to it as well. Job number 1 though is going to be sorting out nutrients for those plants we've got. I'm going to go with aquatic compost, the stuff that it's already grown in. I think that'll work really well as a base layer. Yeah, here's the stuff here, look. It's just aquatic compost. I don't know if that's a good brand or not, but it worked last time. Right, here we go then. I'm just gonna get the stuff chucked in. Now they say you should have 1 inch thick and then capped with 2 inches of like finer gravel or sand. But I personally don't think you need 1 inch. Like 1 inch is a lot of soil, isn't it? I don't know how well you can tell from the reflection, but there's some soil gone right in the foreground there. I don't really want to be able to see that too much. Although saying that, this is all going to kind of mix in together anyway. So apparently aquatic compost has had some elements removed from it, which mean that you don't sort of get spikes in nutrients in your water column. Like that's why it's perfect for sticking in your pond, because otherwise you just have an algae-filled pond, wouldn't you? Especially outside with the sun on it. Nonetheless, it still needs to sort of be locked down. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna cap over the top of it. Just use whatever you've got. You can cap it with anything really. And then your decorative layer that you want to be seen on the top. So first layer, I've just got this sort of coarser sand. I don't particularly want it right at the front. Anyway, I'll scrape that out in a minute, but I'm just sort of capping over the top of a load of it with this. And then I've got just like a play sand to go on top of that. Super cheap, this stuff, you see. You can just buy it in hardware stores. And I've always got a bag of it spare, just for times like this, when I know I'm gonna need it. You know, it's not the prettiest of sand. It can work on certain setups, but it might work actually quite well in this one. We'll see how we go. Okay, I'm just flattening out a bit, just making sure there's no big sort of pockets where we haven't got any. I'm going to have more sort of mounds at the side with an open-ish, not completely open, but open-ish area in the middle, so like a dual island, but like a false dual island, because it's not going to be a definite one. So next up, I'm going to put some rocks in that will form our sort of raised area. Again, not certain on anything yet, so just get some stuff in. We can see how it looks. It's quite high, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. There we go, great start. This is looking like it could be really interesting actually. I've built a lot more height at the back than you can sort of tell. There we go. Way more height in that back section than the front. On the front on, you can't see that, but that gives us that depth perception, the raised area for planting in as well. We need tons and tons more detail. So what I've got here is a mix of loads of different stuff I've collected. It's like Rio Zingu from Denelay and a load of other stuff as well that's in there. But this is so good for just adding that detail. Any stones really work, to be honest. Like, try and get some that are sort of similar to the style of rock you've got. They don't have to be the same though. Sometimes they look better when they're not the same, if I'm honest. And as always, I'm just slapping this down and spilling it all over the floor as well. I've tried doing setups recently where I don't add all the detail. Didn't like it at all. So for me, it's all about its detail. Don't worry about the back areas too much. You don't want to waste it because there's going to be plants all in that area. Just a few's fine. Again though, making sure that you're even getting this area out the front, because there'll still be stuff, wouldn't there, that's sort of mixed into there. We're gonna have lots of sticks and things like that as well, because I want this to be like murky and looking awesome. I tell you what, I feel like we should just have one more stone there. 4 is not a good number, but 5 always works. Look at that. Maybe a bit more angle. Much better. A few more stones as well. So I want to add more details later when we've got water in, but for now that's where I want to stay, and I want to get started on those big pond plants in the background that are going to be coming right out the top. Remember, because we're doing a rice paddy field, it's sort of shallow waters, so we're only filling the water up just over halfway, and then it'll give us that real authentic look. And here is where I've been keeping the plants. They've been in there obviously with water in it, but I've just emptied it out. Now, they can all come out of this pot, you see, and that compost you can see there is the same stuff that I've put at the bottom of the tank. Now when I take it off, I want to wash off most of that, but it doesn't matter if there's a little bit still there. It's going into the sand anyway, plus a little bit of this stuff in the water column will create a nice sort of mulmy effect, won't it? Which is exactly like the substrate in the paddy fields. It's just murky and dirty. I mean, it's not massively aesthetically pleasing though, so I only want a bit of that. Right, there we go, got everything sorted. Most of the soil washed off. Look, there's still a little bit there. That's gonna be under the sand, so we'll be absolutely fine. These ones are shorter, these ones are longer, so they'll go at the back. And here is the water, which we won't be using again. Right, so I wanna move quite quick with this because these roots obviously have been used to being submerged in water. Now I'm gonna plant by hand, which means that you can probably not see what I'm doing right now. Right in the corner. There we go. Then I can really pack it in and make sure that it's actually sitting upright. We want it to kind of look like its own sections, so it's not merged in neatly, do you know what I mean? Because in the rice paddy fields, they're planted in like donk, 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 donk. So that's what I want to sort of create. Donk, 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 donk. Oh, that's already looking fantastic, right? Another big one over in this corner for sure. Again, I'm just using my fingers, pressing it right in, pushing all the roots down so they can find that soil section. Yes, looking brilliant already. Oh, I love it. And I'm thinking for the third tall one, just off center. So we've got 2 bigger islands, if you like. Right down deep. There we go. Now some of the leaves are a bit fleur, but as it progresses, it'll grow better than that. But it is adding to the nice authenticness down the bottom. I've got to stop using the word authentic, haven't I? Oh, I absolutely love that. Now, it's taken everything in me to keep to the plan and go row, 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 row. Because in aquascaping, you don't do that. You kind of offset them and it looks more natural, but obviously in a planted field, it's not supposed to be like that. And I'm glad I have, because it really is keeping to the theme that we want as well, isn't it? Well, I'm going to have to put some water in now because this is all going to dry up otherwise. I'm at least going to fill it up to where I want the water level to be, which I think is about there. Come down lower, that's quite a lot of swim room for those tiny, tiny fish. Oh, it looks so good. Like, if I step back, completely different from everything else. And yeah, I absolutely love it. The filtration, I'm going for just a tiny little internal filter that I can hide the edges with a little spray bar that I'm just going to bring near the foreground. It doesn't spray too hard at all, but you know, it's paddy fields that they're from. It's just gentle flowing water. You can't really sort of even see it moving properly. Yeah, here we go, look. It's just like a little Nicru filter. It was a little bit longer than this, but I sort of hacked off the bottom to make it fit into a smaller tank. And then it's just got your foam, goes in the bottom. I'll leave a link to these little ones. They're so useful, and that's going to work perfectly. What I'll do, put it turn it to the side like that, pull that upwards, and there we go. We've got the spray bar going forwards, and that'll sit nicely in there. Oh yeah, I think that's going to work a treat. I don't know if you can tell. It's just a gentle sort of flow. It's going to be enough to clear the water up nicely and move any sort of crud around, and that's about it, because we don't want high flow in this at all. So that is looking great, really authentic, but we can go further, can't we? I want to add some leaf litter and that kind of thing in the bottom area, because in these paddy fields, it's just loads of these leaves, for instance, that would have fallen down and just created a mush. I'm not going quite that heavy on them, but it needs something. Yeah, so I've basically got some sticks. They've been another setup, so they should all sink, or nearly all sink. Basically, the filter's going to chuck them around wherever it wants them to settle. But that's fine. Actually makes it a little bit more realistic as well. The sticks are what really do work quite well though. I'm not trying to be sort of specific with this. I'll shuffle it around a little bit afterwards so it doesn't look quite as uniform. But all these botanicals have actually been in water already, so I don't think they'll like put a load of tannins in. They will put some in, but I don't want it to be too much like of black water, just a little bit, you know? We need some right at the back here as well, don't we? There we go, we're getting that grimy sort of floor look. Bit of dirty water as well, get it all in there. Just realised I've actually got quite a few more for this side area here. I think it needs some in that little gap. Yeah, looking good. Get in there, there we go. And then it needs a bit more in this back area for sure. Not sure if these ones will sink. We shall find out. Well, they will do eventually. They're going to get caught there for now. Then come tomorrow, they'll be sunk, won't they? So it's now the next day. The tank has cleared up beautifully. I'm really excited about putting the fish in. It looks so natural. I'm not even kidding you. I mean, come on, look at that. There's a few bits still floating, but I think that kind of just adds to everything. It looks like there's no water flow at all, but that's just because the water's become so crystal clear. And those details, look at that. I mean, a fish tank, in my opinion, is nothing without the fish in it, is it? So let's put them in. And for the past few days whilst we've been doing this, they've been down here, as you guys saw from the beginning, and they're all doing absolutely great, to be honest. I think what I'll do is, after I've filmed the video, I'll take out the sponge that's in this filter and I'll just squeeze it in this water everywhere. I'm not going to do that now because it will look horrendous, but I could definitely do that afterwards. The plants are actually standing up even better now. They're all starting to go towards this light, which is a really good height, you see, for the whole section. Anyway, enough talking, let's get those fish in. I mean, to be honest, if I did squeeze the sponge in there now, it would create a really sort of mulmy look, which is really realistic, but you know, I'm not going to do that for this video. Oh, I've got like five in one. Awesome. So as with any of my new tanks, I always put in a load of ram's horn snails to start with. I absolutely love snails. Many of you complain that they breed too much. I don't get that problem because I don't overfeed the tank, and then it just the population just stabilizes itself. And then next up, here come the ricefish. And you go, little buddies. There's loads in there. Come on, swim down. Oh, there we go, looking good. Honestly, have you ever seen a more calm fish that's just been put into a tank? They're just chilled, instantly chilled. That's so cool. At the moment, they all seem to be hanging out on the top of the water, probably just trying to sort of suss the situation out. Now, I'm not one to go for these sort of biotope setups really, but I just so wanted to try this one. I'm glad I did. It's one that's going to be like basically zero maintenance, isn't it? There's not a lot that I need to be doing here. And I was in fact going to be doing a lot more in the foreground in terms of planting down in this whole area. But once I did the details, I just thought, you know what, I always do that. Leave it as it is. It's actually far more realistic then. I mean, I rarely go for absolute realism, do I? But these look so cool, these fish, don't they? Let me zoom out for you so you can see the size. Oh, up against my finger, look. They are tiny, tiny, but they will grow about 4 times the size of that eventually. So I think that's going to be a good number for this tank whilst they sort of grow up. I'm probably going to rescape it 15 times before then anyway, as you guys know, because that's what I like doing. Snails are already getting to work. The reason I love ram's horn snails so much is you get completely different looks in it. Oh, that's X-rated. You get completely different looks in each one. Like each one's got a different pattern. They have different colours. Some are more blue than others. Yeah, I just think they're awesome. Oh, and just to prove the filter is on, you can see that piece just blowing.